We're joined via Zoom by Civil Rights Movement Not in My Name President Siyabulela Jentile. A very good afternoon to you. Thank you for your time here on the SABC.
Good afternoon to you, Lizelle, and thank you so much for having us in the program today.
So perhaps as we aim to take the conversation further and really weigh in on the scourge of GBV in the country and matters affecting the youth, we've seen the stats being released, the crime stats being released yesterday. Murder cases generally on the rise, 10.1% in fact. This obviously pertains specifically to cases of women dying due to gender-based violence. What is your reaction to these alarming stats emerging?
Once more, thank you so much. I mean, we live in South Africa. These are our lived experiences. Day to day, we hear of a case that involves a woman being either raped or killed, or a child going missing, being found dead a few days later. So this has become a part of our lived experiences. And I would be lying if I say I'm shocked at the statistics. I'm not. However, I'm shocked that our response to crime in South Africa, we have noted a few improvements here and there, but we feel that those have not been adequate in terms of addressing, gender-based violence, addressing femicide, and just crime in general. So they are alarming, but these are the everyday realities of ordinary South Africans. And as I always say to people, that it's nice when we just name stats using numbers, 10 point this, 0 point that. But if you think about it critically, reflecting on that, this is actually humans. These are people that used to live amongst us. These are our children. These are our mothers, our fathers, our brothers and sisters. So we need to start, putting faces to these statistics. I think only then maybe the powers that be will start taking the scourge of crime in this country very, very serious.
There are obviously barriers to seeking a safe and just way to exist. Children remain the most vulnerable. And obviously there is a denial of access to justice and equity at this point, just based on the stats alone that we're seeing 123 cases of rape cases per day during the third quarter. We're looking at the socioeconomic conditions, really trying to understand what's attributing this sinister act. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, look, even the 123 cases reported a day that you've just alluded to now, those are just cases that have been recorded. I would argue that there's in fact even way more that figure. And there is a number of issues that while working on this kind of work we've come across. Obviously, you think of lack of political will in dealing with these issues. You would also think of some of the loopholes in the criminal justice system. But my biggest concern has always been that our response to violence or gender-based violence and femicide in South Africa has always been reactive. That is why we've always made a call that as part of whatever budgets that are being, provided out there, either by business or by government that seeks to address the issues of violence against women and children, that it's well and good when they deal with prevention, but most of these must go towards the resocialization of men and boys. And we do believe that that is where the crux of the matter is. Because if you're going to invest money into building more centers while you're not dealing with the root cause of the problem, you are not going to deal with the issue. So we have a very, very difficult situation at hand. But part of it has been that the people who are supposed to be leading this country are actually sleeping on the job. And when there's a slight change in figures, we should be excited. I mean, I read the report on the crime stats that there's more food on the ground now, but that does nothing for us, in all honesty. Even if you've got one or two people being killed, it's one is too many. So there's a lot that still needs to be done to deal with violence in South Africa. I mean, just a quick example, you look at the gun violence right now in South Africa. A lot of people are dying by the gun. we haven't really, gotten a solution as to how is our government going to deal with this thing. How is it that they are assisting organizations that have got real tangible solutions to dealing with this? So my problem is that we have a leadership void in this country. And I always say that, nature harbors a vacuum in leadership. Be that as it may, all South Africans need to get their hands dirty in ensuring that our communities are safer and are better places to live on.
Siyabulela, obviously there's so much to unpack, so many more questions than answers at this point. We're seeing how triple threats, pose a threat to democracy. It makes women and children in particular vulnerable and open to abuse because of the injustices. And, just because of the solutions that are needed at this point, I really want to end with this conversation by looking at what lies ahead and where to from here. So Not in My Name is running a campaign encouraging young people to be the voice and to vote in the upcoming elections come 2024, the general elections. Perhaps you could talk to us about what that entails, what the call to action is, and really what you want civilians to understand.
Thank you so much. So what we aim to do with the Vote Better campaign is not to say to South Africans they should vote for Party X over Party Y. What we are doing is we are trying to create a platform that will enable South Africans to realize the powers that they possess through the Constitution, but also adding to that to try and discourage this thing of young people abstaining from voting. But also to try and say that if you are not happy with the current status quo, then you need to actually go out there and vote better. You would notice that there has been a steady decline in the number of, in terms of electoral participation in South Africa since 1994. And this has been because as part of, some people, they find abstaining from participation as a way of exercising their civic duties, and we believe that actually that will have a negative or the opposite effect of what they want. So what we are trying to do, we will be launching this Vote Better campaign officially on the 21st of March next month, which is the Human Rights Day, to call upon all South Africans and let's engage and, just assist each other, especially with studying the Bill of Rights, which is the Chapter 2 of the Constitution of the Republic. Also to say to people that there are other options. And part of the program is to say that before we vote, we need political parties to come into our communities and present their manifestos, and then we need to hold them into account and debate them, because what we've been seeing is that you have political parties presenting manifestos just before the elections, and these are just presented to the electorate and then people go out to vote. We are encouraging South Africans to start voting with their lived experience, as opposed to being told that they must vote with their consciences. We are saying vote with your lived experience. If there's issues of pothole, there's issues of crime in your communities, and then they've not been dealt with, you need to come out and vote better. We need to come out and vote better. And we are calling upon the Independent Electoral Commission of South Africa to partner with us on this program, the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development, as well as the Human Rights Commission, to come on board and assist us. We will be driving this campaign nationally. We're calling on partners from civic society, faith-based organizations. We are calling on business, other civil society groups to come and join us, even political parties. This is an opportunity for them to present their manifestos. But the long and short of it, the hashtag Vote Better campaign seeks to create a platform where ordinary South Africans will come together. It can be through town hall style, it can be through social media engagements, through under the 3 dialogues style of engagement. It can be even us going to churches, even door to door, if resources and human capital allow. The essential part of it is that South Africans need to start being part of the discussions around issues that involves their lives.